Hi everyone, today let's talk about the only adventurer who reached level 9. In the world of Danmachi, power is measured in levels, and the higher you climb, the fewer stand beside you. A level 6 becomes a hero, a level 7 becomes a myth, and a level 8 becomes a legend. But above all of these, above every adventurer who has ever walked Orario, there exists a rank so unreachable and it's so impossible that the world itself has forgotten it ever existed. This is the story of the Empress, the only adventurer in history to ever reach level 9, and today we explore on how she did it and how she reached level 9. When we talk about level 9 in Danmachi, we enter a realm that almost no adventurer has ever touched. Level 6 is already heroic. Level 7 is mythological, and level 8 is what we call legendary. So a level 9 is something borderline divine, a power so overwhelming that even the strongest characters in the canon at the current time was look like mid-bosses next to her. This explains not just that the Empress reached level 9, but how, why, and what it would actually require according to the rules of Danmachi's Falna system. The starting point is why only someone like the Empress could break the ceiling. Danmachi's power system works on experience, which called excelia, qualitative feats, or overcoming danger, fear, life-threatening trials, and repeated breakthroughs. Most adventurers hit a ceiling because they run out of challenges worthy of massive excelia. Their bodies can't keep up with the stat demands, and their development abilities don't scale to SSS-level tasks. The Empress is special because she lived in the era when monsters were different. Before Orario, before the modern dungeon meta, the world was far more savage. Monsters roamed the surface in high numbers and higher tiers. Before she became part of Hera Familia, a few even whisper she was royalty granted Falna in secret. She lived in an environment designed to produce excelia at the highest difficulty imaginable. This assumes she lived in a period known as the Age of Calamities long before the main story, a time when juggernaut-like threats existed without dungeon restriction. Spirits and ancient beasts roamed freely. A calamity beast-tier enemies appeared on the surface, and powerful monsters emerged due to divine influence leaking into the lower world. The Empress's rise is tied to surviving a near-extinction era, where normal level 5 and level 6 were constantly dying, resulting in constant high-risk excelia. This environment alone explains why the strongest of her time could break limits unseen today. Now let's talk about how she broke to level 7, the first impossible threshold. Level 7 isn't achieved through grinding, it requires unimaginably dense excelia, like killing multiple floor boss class monsters solo and fighting continuously for days, surviving situations where leveling up is the only reason you didn't die. The Empress reached level 7 by facing of what Orario today would classify as ancient great spirits gone berserk, lost cryptids, and equal to or surpassing Eudeus and mutated magical beasts empowered by runaway mana flows. Think of it as fighting multiple Asterius-level threats regularly. As the commander of her kingdom, or familia she didn't fight occasionally, she fought almost every day. When she became level 8, the battle that rewrite her Falna. To break into level 8, you need an event equal to Adar defeating the 49th floor boss Baylor, Leon versus Black Maiden Arya, and defeating the revived spirits. A personal war against a catastrophic continental threat. The Empress's key moment was likely the War of the Three Cataclysms, a magical event where Tyr 3 colossal disasters. A calamity beast, the monster class on almost same level of legendary Leviathan. A spirit corruption, the same phenomenon that created the Juggernaut, and a dimensional collapse tearing the fabric between the mortal world and the dungeon's mana flow. The Empress fought at the center of it, and this single confrontation granted an SSS Strength Excelia, SSS Endurance Excelia, SSS Agility Excelia. A development ability no one has today like Last Stand, Exterminator, or Slayer of Sovereigns. And thus she leveled up on the battlefield, now to became and reach level 9, the final Emperor class trial. The jump from level 8 to level 9 requires something unprecedented, something beyond the dungeon, and this proposes she fought a primordial spirit, a mythological catastrophe. Not a dungeon monster, not a floor boss, but a being tied to ancient mana wells, the origin of monsters, the cycle of rebirth and destruction of the world. Think of it as a spirit on the level of the ancient fairy queen, a creature whose defeat literally reshapes ecosystems. Boss equal to Arya's destruction spirit, but multiple times. The fight was so dangerous that her fauna updated mid-battle, and her stat levels reset into level 9, and she kept fighting even while adjusting to a new level. This makes sense because only true world-ending threats provide enough excelia for this rank. Only someone who has hit the physical cap of level 8 could even survive long enough to reach level 9. Now let's talk about why no one today can reach her level or reach level 9. Because modern adventurers have limits. The dungeon restricts monster evolution, and gods prevent divine wars in apocalyptic scenarios. The world is safer, cleaner, and more stable even the black dragon sealed in previous age. To become level 9, you need catastrophe-level enemies, ancient magical environments, long-term exposure to divine or spirit anomalies, and a body capable of handling constant SSS stats, and a god willing to push your fauna to its absolute limits. This explains why Albert Wallenstein said to be level 10 or higher, even tough it's not confirmed. Maybe it's because of he was exposed in long-term exposure to divine and spirit anomalies with ancient magical environment. Plus, it was 1,000 years ago. Think of it as how strong the monsters, and how's the situation back then 1,000 years ago compared to Empress time and the current time. So the Empress reached level 9 because she lived in the only era where these conditions existed. As for the final result is what a level 9 Empress actually is. A level 9 adventurer would be faster than Otter at full strength by several magnitudes, stronger than Corrupted Spirit even after multiple Black Maiden unleashes, and able to fight multiple level 7 without breaking a sweat. Something that even gods speak about in reverent fear. Strong enough to tank Leviathan's magic head-on and close to demigod tier power. Her sword swings can create shockwaves that can destroy castles. Her magic can alter weather. Her presence alone intimidates creatures like the behemoth. And her agility is so high that she moves like teleportation. So all in all, the Empress reached level 9 because she lived during an era filled with catastrophes. She fought threats far beyond anything modern Aurario sees. She repeatedly gained SSS tier excelia. She defeated a primordial spirit-level calamity. Her body, soul, and fauna were perfect for transcending limits, and she had a god who continuously updated her growth. Through these factors, she became a myth among myths, a warrior so powerful that even the strongest adventurers today can't compare. But even with all that strength she has, she and her familia, together with Zeus' familia members, they all defeated by the king of all monsters. This explains a lot, because even Albert Wallenstein, who's said to be a level 10 or higher, also died during the battle against this black dragon. Not really sure on how the battles goes on with Hera Familia and Zeus Familia versus Black Dragon, but as far as the data said, Empress doesn't like weak people, and she liked to fight alone and not want to cooperate with her allies, because her reasoning was to protect them.